Donald Trump gave a speech in Las Vegas. It was totally unhinged. He talked about how he wishes that he can call beautiful waitresses beautiful girls again, but he said he can't do that because he'll get canceled. He said that he would like to serve multiple terms, but he's like, I guess I'm giving you all headlines. I'm giving you all headlines. He then talks about withdrawing from the World Health Organization and the Paris Climate Treaty, as the crowd at his event in Vegas was like, yeah, we got out of those things. He also talks about America was at its most powerful and prosperous in the late 1800s, which is totally false. Folks, this is totally unhinged, but I think the most important thing we all have to remember is WMD, weapons of mass distraction. Prices are not going down, they're going up. Egg prices are going up. Housing is not more affordable. There is no peace deal in Ukraine. Donald Trump has essentially broken every one of his promises, other than he has freed the most dangerous January 6th insurrectionists and has permitted them to, in essence, commit violence over and over again. Let's just take a look at what he's doing. I don't want you to get distracted, though, by looking at these shiny objects. Always ask yourself, what is he doing to lower prices? Absolutely nothing. What is he doing to make housing more affordable? Absolutely nothing. What is he doing to making healthcare more accessible? Absolutely nothing. What is he doing to bring peace to Ukraine? Absolutely nothing. So he starts off, though, before the speech, making posts on a social media platform like this. Literally, it is a photograph of himself with money on the table. I mean, just another image of the oligarchy right there. He posts an image of himself with Elon Musk. When you click it, it goes to a website where you can buy his meme coins, $Trump, which he's been pushing very hard on his social media over the past 24 hours. He keeps on selling crypto, specifically his meme coins. Here it is again, $Trump, over and over again, just relentlessly trying to pump this up, using his office in the White House to try to enrich himself. I mean, look at this photo right here. It's also a very, I think, disconcerting image of what I'm looking at, just given the devastation in places like Altadena, Pacific Palisades. I mean, to have this like sandstorm or the smoke engulf this area and selling crypto. But it gets worse than that, folks. Over here, you have him selling Ross Ulbricht's NFTs. Ross Ulbricht is the person who created that thing called the Silk Road. He was sentenced to life in prison in 2014, 2015. Donald Trump pardoned this Ross Ulbricht, who, when he was sentenced to life, it was for that his platform allowed terrorists to get weapons, more drugs exchanged than the Sinaloa cartel, trafficking taking place on there. But this is the guy Donald Trump pardoned, and now he's pumping up his NFTs. Donald Trump making just bizarre posts like this lady smoking a cigar, saying, I love Trump because he pisses off all the people I can't stand. I think that's a perfect exemplar of what this MAGA movement is all about. I mean, okay, you're gonna piss off other people. It pisses people off. No, again, how about you just do things for Americans? How about you try to lower prices? How about you try to make housing more affordable, healthcare more affordable? How about you focus on kitchen table type of issues, or just issues that millions of families, tens of millions of families rely on? Another post where he's doing the $Trump. That's his crypto coin. He's also making posts like this, bragging that he got one of his broligarchs, Mark Zuckerberg, to end fact-checking. So that's what he's doing right there. And let me just show you what went down at the speech in Vegas as well. He talks about how the tariff system, he claims, made so much money. He goes, America was the richest from 1870 to 1913. He said, then we invented the income tax. We don't want others to pay. Let's have our people pay. Then you had the Great Depression. That's a completely false recitation of the Great Depression, as Donald Trump probably brings us into a Great Recession or Great Depression. Donald Trump's perspective that we were our most prosperous, that's just completely inaccurate. We were most prosperous after World War II. But just let Donald Trump keep on lying. But we got to call him out each and every step of the way. Donald Trump then talks about bringing back religion in this country. He said there was no religion and he brought religion back. Again, completely absurd. Also, Donald Trump and all of his MAGA Republicans attacking that female bishop at the National Cathedral who actually just said, hey, can you please try to just show mercy on the LGBTQ community? Can you please try to show mercy? Because religion teaches that. If you actually, want to follow it. But of course, many of these people just don't really want to follow the teachings. They just want to hold the Bible and then engage in egregious conduct, but use the Bible as a shield and a sword for their abhorrent behavior. But there was religion before, and Donald Trump probably is the most anti-religious person that there is, but that won't stop the religious right from supporting a felon, sexual assaulter, and utter fraud. Donald Trump then goes on to say it would be, I'm not going to play this clip. He goes, it would be the greatest, because he wants you to, it would be the greatest honor of my life to serve not once, but twice or 3 or 4 times. I just gave headlines for the fake news. No, to serve twice. And then, he's like, I just gave headlines. We're not going to, on the MeidasTouch network, even play that clip. We're not falling for the shiny object. Look, if you want to try to, do that, we'll be ready to call it out and expose it. But let's focus on the fact that these are promises broken every single day by you, including there's no peace in Ukraine. You've said that Xi Jinping, the president of China, should negotiate it. You said that you're waiting on Vladimir Putin to do whatever he wants. You have no plans for anything at all. And, and by the way, your executive order saying birthright citizenship is unconstitutional, even though it's in the 14th Amendment. That was struck down by a Washington federal court. Here's just so you get a flavor of what was going down in this thing. Here, Donald Trump talks about how he wants to call the beautiful waitress young and beautiful, but he's worried if he says that, he'll get in trouble. Like, again, this is what he's focused on because he's a psycho. Here, play this clip.
This is what happened. I'm telling you, a young waitress, I won't say beautiful because you're not allowed to say that as a politician. Used to be you could say a young, beautiful waitress. This was a young, beautiful waitress, but I won't say that because I feel like I want to continue my political career. If you call the governor won't say it. If you call a woman beautiful today, it's the end of your political career, so I won't do it. But a young waitress, I think you can call young. You're probably not even supposed to say young. Probably supposed to say a waitress. But a young waitress came up and I said, how are you doing? And in my restaurant in the hotel, and Trump.
Then he talks about expanding the size of the United States of America. Obviously part of his threats to conquer Greenland, where he talks about conquering Canada, annexing Canada, taking over Panama. Also making comments to the effect of, taking Mexico. There were reports about him saying that we should invade Mexico. I think I need to share this clip with you so you can just see and hear it for yourself, what he's focused on. And again, when you watch this, I want you to remember, though, again, what are you doing to lower prices? Absolutely nothing. And so this is the kind of red meat he feeds to his base. Play this clip.
The United States has the largest amount of oil and gas of any country on earth, and we may be a very substantially enlarged country in the not too distant. Isn't it nice to see, for years, for decades, we're the same size to the square foot, probably got smaller, actually. But we might be an enlarged country pretty soon. And one of the things we're going to be doing is drill, baby, drill.
In this speech, I guess he was supposed to talk about his no tax on tips policy. It's like a lot of talking. Okay, let's see that actually get implemented in a piece of legislation in Congress, because none of your executive orders at all did with lower prices. None of them had to do anything with that. But Donald Trump then pivots and goes, how about no tax period? We could do that. If tariffs work out, that could happen. We just won't do taxes. Okay, now, first off, tariffs are a tax. Tariffs are a tax, quite literally, on American corporations that import to try to dissuade them from importing from foreign countries. and to make the penalty higher. That's what it is. So Trump doesn't understand what tariffs are, but when he says that, it's part of his pivot where his whole thing is now changing no tax on tips because that doesn't really benefit him and his broligarchs to how about we do no taxes, period. Now, one of the reasons why I've said before, Donald Trump had said no tax on tips because one of Donald Trump's prior policies that he was trying to push through in Trump administration 1 was basically no tips in general, that your tips belong to the boss. Your tips belong to the employer. It's a tax avoidance scheme. You see, if the employer owns the tips and there's no tax on those tips that the employer can claim, the employer can just claim income as tips and then not have to pay taxes. That's what the scheme is here. It's not to help the waiters and the waitresses and the workers who work in service industries. I want you to pay attention to that over the next coming weeks, what Trump's going to be doing and not doing there. Then he brags about pardoning the January 6th insurrectionists, who he calls hostages. Let me show you that. Let's play it.
Pardoned hundreds of political prisoners who had been viciously persecuted by the Biden regime. Hundreds of people were persecuted, including Christians, pro-life activists, 2 Washington, D.C. police officers just yesterday, whose lives were destroyed from chasing down a dangerous illegal alien criminal. And of course, I was very proud to pardon the J6 hostages.
Then he brags about withdrawing from the World Health Organization, withdrawing from the Paris Climate Agreement. He says that these other countries empty their prisons into our country. He says, can you imagine if somebody did that in our country? Donald Trump just emptied our prisons of the most dangerous felons, the January 6th insurrectionist leaders of the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys. He emptied them in. And even when federal judges were like, can we keep them away from the Capitol? Come to us for permission, the federal judges. And then Donald Trump said, nope, they deserve to be right there in the Capitol. We're not going to put any conditions on their ability to go back to the scene of the crime. Donald Trump then bragged about his friendship with Elon Musk and Doge. This as Susan Wiles, Donald Trump's chief of staff. It's been reported, we reported on earlier, kicked Elon Musk out of the West Wing and made sure Elon Musk would not be in the White House. She wanted him in the old executive office building. It should be noted that only 12% like Donald Trump, dealing with all of these billionaire oligarchs, and only 36% of people approve of Elon Musk, but Donald Trump bragging about his relationship with Elon Musk. Finally, Donald Trump says that we abolished 60 years of prejudice and hatred with the signing of one order, all approved by the United States Supreme Court. We are allowed to do it because we are now in a merit-based world. Really, that's why Pete Hegseth became the Secretary of Defense. And what Donald Trump is referring to is LBJ's executive order saying that federal contractors can't discriminate against black and brown people and, can't discriminate on the basis of race. Trump now says that that was racist to white people, telling white people that they can't discriminate against black and brown people. And because that anti-discrimination executive order by LBJ from the mid-1960s, Trump said was racist to white people, he now says federal contractors should be allowed to essentially do whatever they want and can discriminate now if that executive order is repealed. And let's be honest, none of these, Trump, not merit-based, none of these people in his cabinet, or mostly none of them are merit-based. Tell me what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch and help us blow past 750,000 followers.